Alright, first and foremost, we really need to address some very important things about this bike that should be in the user's manual, but they are not. First things first, when you power this bike on, you are greeted with this screen right here, and it wants a password. That is not in the user's manual anywhere that I could find. I contacted Freego about this and had to get it from them, but the default password for this bike, at least mine anyways, is 1818. That seems like a pretty important detail that should be accessible by the user when they first put this bike together and they go out and they're ready to ride. Unfortunately, it's not. And this is a pretty expensive bike, so that's a pretty big ball to drop. A little less important is the top speed unlock through throttle control. I'm going to shut the bike down now, and Freego got a hold of me and said that to unlock the top speed through throttle, you hold the brake in while you power the bike on, continue to hold the brake, put in your password. Okay, something happened there, so you got to continue to hold the brakes for about 10 seconds or so after you put in the password. But now our top speed in boost should be unlocked to 28 miles per hour. Let's test that out. .7, that's close enough. Let's take it for a ride and see how she does. Yeah, this ride's a lot nicer than being locked down to Class 2 mode. It's really taking advantage of the torque of that mid-drive motor. I'm pedaling right now, but I could always just override that by hitting the throttle and go up to the top speed of like 27.7 miles per hour. Alright, well here's something I just found that I don't like about this bike. And that is, I just shut the bike off a little while ago to take a couple photos of it. And when I got back on it, it is back to Class 2 mode. So every time you want to use the bike in Class 3 mode, you got to go through that unlock process every time. That's annoying. Alright, we're going to do a walk around of the bike now so I can show you what we get with the bike. We get a pretty nice rack here. It also comes with this tie-down cable. Shimano Atlas derailleur. No derailleur guard, oddly enough. Metal pedals. It is an 8-speed gear system. And we've got a trigger shifter. 203mm Tektro hydraulic brakes, which are really overkill for this bike. We got our 15 amp hour battery that sits in here, and we've got this cover plate that goes on to protect it. So to get the battery out, you turn the key, and then there's a little button to push down right here, and then it just drops out. And this battery does have a proprietary pin out. Then we've just got our cover that goes right back on in place there and keeps the battery protected. The motor is a 500 watt, 750 watt peak Lexi mid-drive motor, so it really takes advantage of the gearing. I really like this big comfortable seat here. This thing is very nice to ride. The grips are also pretty comfortable. Here's our screen, and we've got our headlight control here. Turns that on and off. That also turns our tail light on and off. And our tail light also functions as a brake light. Also functions as turn signals. The turn signals are not self-canceling, so what you've got to do is tap it to turn it on, and you'll see an indicator up here on the screen when your turn signal is on, and then you tap the same turn signal again to cancel it. We've got Suntour shocks up front. They are adjustable and you can lock them out. You've got a spot here to mount a front rack if you would want to. This comes with a drink holder installed. And it is a step-through frame, so it's very easy to get on and off of this bike. It does sit pretty tall. I've got the seat up to about that height right there, and I am 5'10", and this is a pretty comfortable ride for me. The handlebars sit in a really nice position in relation to the seat. This is a comfort cruiser for sure. The tires are not actually fat tires, they're not 3 or 4 inch, but they are 27.5 by 2.6 inch tires, and as tall as these tires are, it should really economize your battery life. All right, so I've already done all of the other tests on this bike already, but I did all of my tests while it was locked down to Class 2 mode, and I did those tests in very, very strong winds out on country roads, but my hill climbing and range tests are all in that part of the video, which we will rewind to a couple days ago and show that now. The bike is riding really nice. It's got a really smooth delivery with its power, and I'm in turbo mode right now. This bike doesn't have like pedal assist 1, 2, 3. It's not listed like that. It's listed as like eco, turbo, and I'll go through all of those modes later. Turbo, I believe, is the fastest mode. Excuse me, no, boost is the fastest mode. We're up in boost now, and boost is definitely making a difference in the speed. So one of the things that does get a little bit confusing, and one of my criticisms of this bike, is that the way they named the modes is you've got eco, like sport, boost, and it's like, okay, is sport the fast one? Then you find out you got one more, you got boost. Basically, they're sequential in order, but it's a little confusing knowing what means what. And if they would have just gone with like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a lot easier to understand than trying to figure out what mode means what. Now, if you own this bike for more than 10 minutes, you're going to figure it out. You're going to know it. Brakes squeaked a little bit there, but they are not bedded in yet. So I assume they're going to get better as we ride. Speaking of brakes, these are really good brakes. They are Tektro hydraulic brakes. Oh, I'm riding into a hell of a headwind. The headwinds on these country roads this time of year are absolutely terrible. But with this bike being a mid-drive, torque-driven system, it's really pushing through it pretty well. But right now, I'm hitting a top speed of about 22, 23 miles per hour. Hopefully that changes when we get out of this wind. With this being a torque sensor, I am actually getting a workout on this bike because it's responding to what I'm putting in. It gives me what I give it. It's a comfortable ride. I like the seating position. I like the handlebar position, and it's got some really nice, comfortable suspension in the front anyway. There's no rear suspension, but it's fine. This has big, cushy tires, so it does a good job of absorbing a lot of the dips and bumps in the road and doesn't transfer everything to your spine. All right, so we're out of the headwind. Now it's a crosswind. One of the things that I do like about this route is there are a lot of hills, so we can test the ability of this bike's hill climbing ability. Now, we're coming up on a pretty long climb coming up here. Take a look at this hill now before we get up there, because the fisheye effect on this camera is going to flatten the hill out the closer we get. So it's a bit of a climb, but you can't always trust the fisheye lens of a camera when it comes to hills. Now that we're out of that headwind, I'm up to almost 27 miles per hour. I'm pedaling pretty casually. All right, here we're coming up on this hill. I'm in 7th gear, but I got some momentum behind me. We're gonna see how it tackles this hill. Another thing I should have done is I should have put mirrors on this bike before coming out and riding this road. It went right up that hill, no problem. Now, if I get tired, I can just rely on the throttle here. It's a thumb throttle, but that's going to cap me at around 20 miles per hour in Class 2 speeds. It's nice to have the option. Again, with the fisheye, we got another hill coming up, so keep in mind, take a look at how steep this hill is now before we get there, because once we get on it, it's going to flatten out in the camera's perspective. But this is a pretty steep hill here, and this time I'm going to take off from a dead stop and we're going to go throttle only up this hill. And I'm still in, I said 7th gear before, this is actually an 8-speed bike. I'm in 8th gear. And it's climbing this hill no problem. If I were to go down into a lower gear, it would make more efficient use of this mid-drive motor. And I think what I'm going to do is turn around and go back down and tackle this hill again in a lower gear. Let's do that. All right, we're tackling this hill again, this time in 4th gear, throttle only. And one of the benefits of a mid-drive motor is that it can take advantage of your bike's gearing, unlike a hub drive motor. The motor's definitely not working as hard going up the hill this time. So yeah, that's the benefit of a mid-drive and using its gearing to your advantage. One of the things that I really like about this bike a lot is that when we go through the different modes, I've got a range counter on here. We've got a battery meter, but with e-bike batteries, you can't always trust the percentage meter. So now that I'm in boost mode, our range is 30.4 miles. That's how much we've got on this battery. If I go down to turbo, that jumps up to 42 miles. If I go down to touring mode, that goes up to 54.6 miles. And if I go down to eco, that's going to give me a 60-mile range. It's nice to know that. And we're back into the headwind, and a hill's coming up. So this is one of those instances where we've got the nice torquey assist from that mid-drive motor going up a hill and into a headwind. And we're still holding 20 miles per hour. All right, so e-bikes sit in that gray area between bicycles and motorcycles. And I like to think of it like on a slider bar as far as like how close each bike is in where it sits, if that makes any sense. This one sits way over on the bicycle spectrum. This thing rides a lot more like a powered bicycle than it does a motorcycle. And that is due large in part to the torque sensor. It's giving me what I give it. So with that, that's what makes it feel like a bicycle. A really fast bicycle, but a bicycle nonetheless. I'm actually getting a workout on this bike. But there is always that option that if I want to, I can just stop pedaling and rely on the throttle here. All right, for a range check-in, we are at 7.6 miles and we're at 87% on the battery. I've been riding it in its most powerful assist level, into headwind, up hills. So it being down to 87%, that really tracks. Now I'm going to head back and we're going to see what kind of range we have when I get back. So that's going to put us at around a little over 15 miles by the time I get back. Saw this little gravel trail. I don't know where this goes. I've never been down here. So let's test it out on gravel. Now I would say this bike is very strictly a pavement bike. This is not an off-road bike at all. But this looks like a fairly light-duty gravel trail. So let's see what's back here. Let's see how she handles it. It turns into semi-paved. And now we are basically off-road. These big tall wheels do a good job of going up and over everything, even though, like I said, I don't think this bike is really made for this kind of riding, but it's doing a pretty good job with it. I wouldn't want to do this all day on this bike. Oh boy, we're getting into some like river rock now. And this is where the ride gets a little bit rough. But having an e-bike, you kind of discover little things like this a lot, and you can go explore And I just love getting out and finding stuff like this. Yeah, the nice thing about this trail is it's blocking all of that hellish wind. That was a fun little bit of exploration, but I need to head back now. And when I do, I will get a final result for our range test. All right, back to the end of the ride for our final range check-in, and our voltage sag is climbing up. So we're at 53% now. We were at 50 when I stopped. I don't know exactly where that's going to cap out at, but rather let's look at our range in boost mode. It says we got another 16.7 miles to go. That's in boost. Let's go to turbo. 23.6 miles to go for range. Sport, 27.3 miles to go. Tour, 30.4 miles to go. And Eco, 33.5 miles left to go. So that's our range for this bike. And I do want to reiterate, for that range test, I was riding it in boost mode, which is its highest assist mode, against winds and uphills and on that dirt bike trail. So I was really putting it through its paces. I wasn't riding the bike easy today.